We used to like talking about grief. Our journals and letters were packed with losses, complaints, and sorrows. Even if there was no grief, we wouldn't stop lamenting as though longing for the charm of a distressed face. Then we couldn't help expressing grief. So many things descended without warning. Labor wasted, loves lost, houses gone, marriages broken, friends estranged, ambitions worn away by immediate needs. Words lined up in our throats for a good whining. Grief seemed like an endless river, the only immortal flow of life. After losing a land and then giving up a tongue, we stopped talking of grief. Smiles began to brighten our faces. We laugh a lot at our own mess. Things become beautiful, even hailstones in the strawberry fields. They used to try and make me want to talk about it. And every week in elementary school, I was called into some grown-up's office and forced to vent any feeling because it was a way of dealing with my kind of situation. You know, people go to school for this type of thing, earning themselves degrees and trying to make people speak about their problems and feelings, unpeeling them like onions in therapy. But in elementary school, they don't call it that. They call it grief counseling. And when someone in your family dies, they handle you like a box with fragile written on it, but they still expect you to want to talk about it like it's easy to say you're fatherless, like it's easy to say you're a mess, but it's not. So you silently wait for something to say, but nothing has come out yet. And their questions linger in the air, and you just hope that maybe they'll forget. And if you're lucky, they'll leave them there, but it's just one of those moments where time seems frozen because they insist on trying to make you unbroken and making you open up to conversation. Like their years of psychology education didn't teach them enough patience. Don't they know that you're not ready? And you weren't ready to let go or say goodbye. There wasn't enough time to fit everything you wanted to say into the morning he died. How do you fit every apology and thank you, every memory, laugh, and promise into one sentence? How do you say it and mean it? And I know if I ask, they probably won't even have an answer, so I'd rather not talk. I'd rather just imagine the impatient tapping of their pens as a tap dancer who is okay with my silence and defiance of not wanting to vent, that dances to the still quietness of my breath and teaches me to forget the stares that torment my lack of speech and inability to grieve. They say my uncooperation leads them to believe that I am 12 and mildly depressed just because I don't know how to express anything. And sometimes they question what's going on in my head. And they try to embed the idea that maybe voicing these thoughts will help to understand and accept, except all I understand is that there's no oral sound that can possibly round up enough impossible miracles to bring him back, and I don't want to accept that. And I think all this as they wait for my reply. But I take my time thinking of other things and blinking back memories that somehow become memorized like the thousands of poems in the back of my mind I've tried to write. But no formation of words can ever make it sound right. And no diction can stop the affliction of missing him. I miss him. I want to tell them I miss him. But I feel like that's sort of a given. And the clock in the room makes more noise than I do. It's ticking along to the song that the pen sings, scribbling words on a yellow pad, spelling out she's still not cooperating. And when the big hand flirts with the 12, it marks an hour of me sitting here and staring at a bookshelf until it's time for this grown-up to finally stand up and announce. I think that's all the time we have for today. And every time my reply is always the same. Good, because that's all I had to say.